Josh, you gonna film this so we can get it down? There we go. So, but if you've never seen this before, I mean, it's really, this was developed by a friend of mine, Charles Clark III. He does bulls, owls, lambs, and tigers. Right? It's really easy. Who wants to shake a hand? You want to shake hands? Stand up. You gotta stand up. That's how you normally do it, right? Okay. So when she shakes my hand, I can learn several things from this, right? So number one, if you see, she didn't go all the way in. She didn't go all the, I couldn't get all the way into the pocket, right? And when she came in, she kind of cut me off right there. My thumb ended up on her knuckles. Right? Yeah. And you think, well, why is that important? Well, the interesting part about that is, what that tells me is, you're very analytical. You're going to think through the details of things, right? But, like, do it again so people can see it.
Can you do it sideways?
Yeah, let's go this way. That's a good idea.
Oh, good Lord, I didn't know it was going to be this intense.
Yeah. No, it's fun.
It's like a magic trick.
Analyzing.
It's not a magic
It
trick.
is a magic trick.
Yeah. Oh, now she's. That's not when you kiss somebody's hand. That's I don't know how to do that one.
Queen Jana.
Yeah. So.
It's not in the list.
Yeah. But Jana also then, right? So notice who's on top, right?
Yeah.
Her hand's on top. So that tells me, right? She didn't go all the way in, but she's going to have analytical, but kind of bull, she's going to want to get to the bottom line, right? Business is business. And if I made this statement, right, like if I look just on probability, and I know Jana, so it's a little tougher, right? Because you already know, but I'm talking about somebody I didn't know. One of the first thoughts that would come to my mind here is they want to do business and pleasure. They kind of separate that. Business is time for work, and then fun is time for fun. You don't really mix those. And that may or not be true for you. But based on the handshake, that's a definite probability I would know. So I'd want to focus on business only, right? And separate those two things. But here, let's do somebody else. Come on up. So if they cut you off, they're going to be, that person would want to go more over the details, the bottom line. And that's one of the reasons, like when you go over your seller side by side, you like to make sure you cover every line, right? Because that's really important. So somebody who cuts you off like that would want all those details, right? Okay. So now with that one, you all the way in, right? Did you see the elbow? Watch the elbow again. So his elbow shakes. When his elbow shakes, now he's got higher tiger tendencies. He's going to be easily distracted. He's probably going to tell you things or ask questions and never care if you answer him. Right? If you go through the entire detailed seller side by side, his brain will die halfway through it. Right? He wants to get to the bottom line and kind of understand the 50,000 foot view. But if you get too much in the weeds, he'll zone out. He'll glass over on you. Would that be true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And now we know each other. That's why I said it's tougher if you don't. Who else would be distinctly different? Alex. Now you guys are on. Okay, so he didn't come all the way in, but he is. So what did that tell us?
He's guarded.
Not guarded. No, not guarded at all. Yeah. With the way that ended up, right? Very analytical. Numbers, could be driving them detail oriented, things like that. Right? It's all. What's that? Right, and you can't. This is what I've learned over time. You can't fake these. You can't fake your handshake. You really have to concentrate to figure it out. Amy, come on up. Shake my hand. Let's see it.
I have to remember these little details.
No, that's what he's talking about. To like,
I don't know.
gauge who knows.
Yeah, well, let's see. Okay.
Queen Amy.
So
Yeah.
we got there. She didn't really let me close to the pocket. Not even close, right?
Pinching your palm.
Right. Right. But you're still going to have a detail oriented, but also that was because I was so far out, right? Then your introduction to a new person, probably a little guarded, but that really doesn't have anything to do with your personality. But you're going to want to make sure everything is laid out and they know everything, right? I'm going to explain everything to you. And when I'm not able to do that, that's going to be frustrating, right? Because I can't paint the whole picture, and you want to make sure you're clear so there's no no mistakes. But that's going to be about the same one. So would you do some other ones with me, just while we're here?
Yeah.
So if they turn you over, pump once, like that, right? If they, that's high bold, right? So high dominance on that one. They're going to want to get the bottom line. If this person would ask you right out of the gate, Rhonda, what's your commission? That's what I really want to know. And you put that question off, they're going to get turned off. But if you ask me that if they were high bold, and they want to, do we have a high bold one here? Are you high bold? Come here, shake my hand. Shake my hand.
I think Josh would.
Did you see that? All the way to the pocket and right away turn me over. Now she a little elbow shake, but really, see how dominant that hand was? Now it's not full out Hitler, right? Like this is the Hitler handshake, right? Like if they do that, that's like so dominant, right? But if they're that high bull, if they ask you a commission right away, I'd go ahead and answer that. 6%, $4.95. We're worth every penny, and you're going to see that. In fact, we probably should do 7, but I already told you 6. I'm going to commit to that.
Well, you know that's how I am. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do that, and I keep going. So if they do this, right? That's a lamb handshake. That means they're not going to decide ever. It does, literally. They will never make a decision. You will have to tell them what to decide and tell them they can back out the next day. And that's the only way to get them to decide. They're the type of person that buys things and returns them all. And that's how if you wanted to confirm that, like if they, and it's not just that they have a soft handshake, it's just that they're very cautious and they have a real care for people, but they're not going to be able to make a decision. So what I would do there is, yeah, you can sign this, because probably when you go to buy things, do you ever return them? And they would tell you, they would say, oh,
I do it all the time.
yeah, they would be like, yes, yeah, in fact, I returned most of them. I said, great, we're going to operate this just like that. I'm going to let you sign it. I'm going to call you at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and you can return it if you don't like it. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but when I call you tomorrow, you can let me know. No pressure, and that way you can sleep because you made the right decision.
What about the really soggy soft ones?
Yeah.
They're already dead.
We went back and forth and
Next.
and ultimately
Yeah.
it was like,
They're not sure.
Yeah.
we sold ourselves on our own.
Probably is up.
Yeah.
Also explain that you could be partial or
Oh, yeah,
one.
yeah.
It's not just like one.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
It's a mix of different things, right? But if you know they're a dominant, they're gonna let you go all the way in the pocket, and they're usually gonna turn their hand on top, right? Squeeze your hand a couple times, once, twice, 3 times. But if they let you, if you cut you off the knuckles, they're gonna want more detail, right? You're gonna want to. That's the more detailed person, right?
How should we try to shake hands to make them feel comfortable?
You don't.
Just do it your own way?
You do, but that's a good question. So come on up. You have to be the receiver. I'm so used to it. I let you control the handshake, right? So I'm gonna put my hand, and I don't pull back, but I put my hand out and I let you then I kind of just got it in there and I let you figure out what you're gonna do with it. And they'll just, yeah.
And you do that every time
They'll take it
anyone.
that way. Huh? What?
You're always in like what hands are like shaking mode, so your handshake's not full.
Yeah. And then you go, yeah.
What did Nathan say?
Nathan took it all wrong. But then you have certain things you can't control.
There's only
So it's like I have a broken pinky that stays broken. It will never be unbroken, right? The bones are totally separated in there. I'm not going to pull it out and show it to you because it could pop through my skin. But if you catch that on a handshake at the right spot, it'll literally pop my finger out, and that'll change my handshake. So, huh?
From dominant to
I've never screamed, but I have come close when it popped all the way out. But you could have things like that are just things that happen to people that do that. But it's just good to be aware of that stuff. The good thing is you just guess, right? Shake their hand, guess what they think they'd be, and then you'll think. Especially detail versus bottom line, right? Those are 2 highlights that we see a lot in our
people
business.
that want to crush your hand, like you
Yeah,
gotta
some people are just going to shake harder or softer, but typically that's more of a dominant personality, right? They're gonna wanna get to the bottom line and do that. Cause rarely does somebody, have you ever had somebody squeeze your hand really hard and their hand's underneath? Not rarely,
No.
right?
No, it's usually.
Right, they're gonna turn your hand over and do the squeeze thing, right? So, cool. Okay, so, all right, let's do, for the next time we meet, tomorrow, we're gonna have the mock, closing, for anybody who wants to attend that. So mock closing is tomorrow. David Harrison Hilton will be here to do a mock closing. We'll do it up in this room. They're just gonna walk through. They're gonna do a closing in front of us and let us do it. I don't know, I guess I'll be the buyer or seller, one of those.
Why, is that for people who have never seen